random person watching this video. I'm gonna run a little experiment here on YouTube, go live and share some of the things that I usually share in the other videos in a random fashion as they come to mind. I tend to not prepare anything and instead just brabble along. Brabbling is a term I think you will not understand if you speak English, but if you speak German, you might. Who am I? My name is Moritz Lembert. What do I do? I coach mainly founders, entrepreneurs, small business owners on their performance, like what they create in life. They want to create a bigger business. I help them with that. They want to create more money. I help them with that. They want to create a different relationship, new relationship, better relationship. I help them with that. But the main point that I tend to help people with is not the getting of things in life, but rather the experience they have with life, the fulfillment they have living life and creating things. And what I like to say about this is I like to start at the point of realizing that you don't need anything. That as life is right now, and I know that's going to fathom some people, as life is right now is absolutely perfect, complete, nothing missing, and total. And getting to that place is actually not a getting to that place, but it's letting go of all the things that distort that place, because you are at that place right now. But what's getting in the way is what we think and our ideas about life. And I like to start at that point. So we come from, hey, you're complete, you're whole, you're perfect. And there are things you want to create in your life. And there are games you want to play. And that's the arena in which I play with the people that I'm working with. And now I'm going live here as I'm creating that thing called building an audience, sharing value with you, and hopefully inspiring some people to go to that place too, to examine their lives in a way that gives them power and has them step out of some of the games that are not as useful. Right? A lot of people play games that are about power, gaining power over, which I actually don't see as power, like force, being more powerful to exert force. They want to have status, they want to have more money, they want to have more fame, but all out of the sense that something about how life is right now is not okay. And ultimately something about how I am right now is not okay. And I've worked with some pretty successful people monetarily. I met individuals who have millions. I met individuals who are really, really good at what they do. And no matter the scope and scale of their worldly achievements, they all seem to struggle with the same things. Sense of insecurity, not enoughness, internal pressure, stress, comparing themselves, judging others harshly, judging themselves harshly, and being really, really invested in that conversation you once had. So no matter where somebody is monetarily, I think the conversations we have on this channel can be useful for you. You know, when I take a moment to think, it's because I actually don't know what I'm going to say next. I just went live. That's how I do my experiments. I just go in and figure it out along the way. Actually, in fact, I think that's what we always do. But most people live under the illusion that they control what they do. They control life. They control how things are going to go. Maybe you do. in your world? I doubt it, given that not even what you're thinking about this video right now is your choice. It just happens. Out of nothing, our thoughts occur. But let me find a point. You know, most people think once they get to a point, then life will be great, amazing, better, fulfilling, cool, whatever it is you place there. And ultimately it's a game of being here and wanting to get there. And that's where most of life, of human life, occurs in, right? Like if you look at the conversation we have on the news, right? It's like, this is horrible, we need to get there. This is not okay, we need to get over here. All the states should get there. This state should get here. And we're not there. We're never there, right? We're never here or there, depending on what you think about it. So you're wrapped up in that game of getting someplace. And we assume that that's just what life is. It's getting someplace. Because once you arrive at the place you thought you wanted to get to, you then have to realize that there's also something missing from that place, right? You want to make the million, you get to the million, you have the million on your bank account, you thought you would feel so different, and then you realize, no, after a week I feel pretty much the same, and then there are new problems occurring, right? Now you have to learn about managing this amount of money if you haven't known that before. So then you learn about investing maybe, or what to do with your money, starting a new business or reinvesting it into your business, and what to invest it into, and should I put 40% of it in marketing or rather in product development, and and it goes on, and then you think, okay, no, the million wasn't the solution. I think I need more money. Let's get to 10 million. So, okay, then you have a place to get to again, right? And now you get busy getting to that place. Let's say you get to that place, now you have the 10 million, then there are new problems. And you have to solve those new problems. And depending on how you look at the situation, you're gonna either feel excited by it, or you actually start to be like, my God, I thought it would be easier when I'm here, but it's not. And then you have some conversations with other people, and somebody else shares like, yeah man, until 10 million is really horrible, but once you get to 50 million, that's when everything's gonna be different. So you create a new game of getting there. And that's your life. That's most people's life, is getting there. But what we don't realize is that that's a vicious circle. That's a closed loop. You don't see that most of the things you have today, once you thought they would really, really, really change your experience of life. And they don't. They really do not. Now, do I say you should not go for building your business, make money, have a relationship, all of those things? No. I have absolutely no problem with doing any of that. In fact, I'm doing that. Right? Creating impact, creating money, creating games that I think matter, knowing very well that they don't in the grand scheme of things. But I stopped doing that under the assumptions that once I get there, it will be different. will fulfill me. And my practice in life has become being ruthless about that sense of not being there, examining it and letting go of it, so that where I am right now is exactly where I am. And where I am right now is the place I want to get to. It is being here. I know in nowadays time, right, with all the books out there, all the teachings out there, be here now, we've heard that before. But you want to get that. There's real truth in that. Because what you ultimately seek by getting all the things you think you want is peace, is a moment of being satisfied, is a moment of being fulfilled, happy. And what's being happy is not being bothered by that shit that normally bothers you. I mean, why do people drink in the evening? Why do they smoke weed? Why do they watch TV? It's to turn off, right? We even say that, we want to turn off. Today I just want to turn it off, right? Just want to turn off and, get quiet for a moment. That's what we seek, but we seek that because all of our machine, all of our mind, brain, what it's being programmed to by the games we play, by what we assume to be meaningful, and a hair in my mouth, by what we assume to be meaningful, is it has to be constantly on, because it constantly has the prompt of, get there, here's not okay, get there. Where I am is not okay, get there. Where I am is lacking, we need to get there. There is where the gold is going to be found. But depending your age, you had either some years or some more years to really look back at your life and yourself and be like, is that actually working? Am I getting the result that I think I should get by achieving those things? Or did, you're in school and you want to go to high school because high school, they're the cool kids, and then you're in high school and you think, oh my God, it's horrible. I want to go and study because then, I can kind of determine myself what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. But then you study and you have to work next to it because you're now older and your parents stop giving you so much support, and you have an apartment because the study is outside of the city that you lived in, and now you have to clean your house and all of it, and you think back at when you were a teenager and like, wow, life was so good back then. But once I get to do my work and have a job, then I'm gonna be really happy. Then life is gonna be different. Then I will finally feel that I arrived. And then you get to the job and you have to learn a lot, and it's hard, and then you learn it, and then it doesn't really progress, and you're doing the same thing for a couple of years, and you start to wonder, is that all there is? And then you might discover spirituality, or you might discover something else, extreme sports, and you think that gives you aliveness, or spirituality, and you hear of this thing called enlightenment, and then you think, oh my God, once I'm there, then life will be fantastic. Then life will be amazing, and it will give me all that I thought I wanted. And you never stop to question that mechanism. Enlightenment is not somewhere you will get to. Peace is not somewhere you will get to. It's something that can only be realized when? Now. Ever. It's always now. But if I say like, let go of everything that's not now, what will happen is that your mind creates reasons for why it's important to think about something. And it will do that because you've programmed it that way, by what you think is important. That is it. You know, get really honest with yourself and question, is what I actually want, like, and you can find what you actually want by asking yourself, okay, let's say I get the money. What then? What will I have then? Then I will, and it always comes back to, then I will feel X, Y, Z. Or you might be like, when I have the money, then I can do this. And what will that give me? When I can do that, I can take care of my family. What will that give you? When I can take care of my family, I finally can relax. Okay. Okay. So why can't you relax right now? Why? Why can't you be at peace right now? Because there are games your mind's playing. Things that get in the way of you letting go. But I need to think about how I'm gonna run this video, and I need to think about the business, and I need to think about the presentation I have in 2 days, and I need to think about it, and I need to think about it, and I need to think about it. You don't think about that, truly. You know, neuroscience is quite clear on that matter. The thing that's actually gonna plan your meeting is offline. It's not you. You, this conversation in your head, what you think all day long, is like less. It has the capacity of 1 to 500,000 compared to the offline processing power of your brain. Things that you have no conscious control over. That's going to determine the meeting. That's determining what I say in this video. That's determining how effective you're going to be with whatever you're up to. And that excessive thought process that we all have in our head actually doesn't do much. That part didn't learn how to drive a car. Right? Now you can drive the car, you can have a conversation, right? Driving the car, have a conversation with somebody next to you. Yes, you're looking at the street and so forth. But the driving of the car is not done by you, nor is actually talking done by you consciously thinking up everything you're going to say. No, it's just coming out of it. You're so convinced that you need to control life. You need to think about it all the time. Otherwise, it's all just falling down. That's what's in the way of you being at peace right now, of you relaxing right now, no matter the responsibilities you hold in your life. People say it's irresponsible to, like go home and have a relaxed mind, or be relaxed in the face of having to make a decision that might impact 2,000 people. No. No. In fact, being relaxed, having less noradrenaline and stuff in your brain makes you smarter. If you're driven by fear, your IQ goes down, right? If you have an amygdala fear response, it's another part in your brain that's responsive for the fight and flight reaction in you have less access to your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for the complex future planning and all of that we determine as high functioning thinking, high functioning capabilities of human beings. And that runs perfectly fine without you thinking about everything all the time. So let's explore that. Why can't you be at peace right now? And whatever comes up for you is what you can work on letting go, what you can work on relieving your attachment to. And just be curious. Do I really have to think about all of this? Well, what if I let it go? Let's test it for one day. For one day, let's not attend to your worries. For one day, let's not go with the idea that if you're there, then it's all gonna be fine. For one day, let's not believe the thought that says, if I'm gonna relax, I'm not gonna have any ambition, and I'm not gonna create the money and the life that I promised my wife or my kids or my husband that we will get, and it will all go to shit if I'm relaxing. For one day, let's just not believe that, and see what happens. And if you're up for that, let me know in the comments of this video what happens. My name is Moritz Lembert. This is my channel. If you like this, check out the other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. And if you don't, let me know why. What's your objection? I want to know your thoughts. See you on the next one.